So thank you and good afternoon everyone, and thank you for sparing your time on afternoon. We understand you must have just finished your day at work, right? So we'll try and make this crisp and interesting for you to help you understand what entrepreneurship is all about and how do we go about doing this on campus. So we thought we should speak to you specifically about what it takes to run entrepreneurship programs on campus, since most of you, we understand, would be new faculty who would be wanting to running entrepreneurship programs on campus. And through this orientation today, we also wanted to let you know about the sort of support that you can expect from the NEN consulting team on ground, plus the NEN team at Bangalore office. What are the kind of tools that are available for the faculty so that you launch the right kind of programs on the campus, right? So we thought we should begin this, to first speak to you about what NEN specifically does, right? What is our background? Why did we get into this space first of all, right? And then we will go on to talk about some of the impact that we have achieved or we have done in the last 10 years. And post that, we will talk about your specific role in the system, the tools available for you, and what sort of support you can seek from NEN. So that's the flow of this presentation. With that, I'd like to introduce to you first of all, the person you see in the picture is Dr. Umesh Wadhwani. Most of you, I understand, would have heard about him. He's the man behind NEN today, the man who launched Wadhwani Foundation, and the reason why NEN is doing these wonders today. If you look at India's economy, one of the major challenges that India faces currently, as all of you would agree, is a high unemployment rate, right? So we believe that if we want to contribute to India's economic acceleration, one of the ways of contributing this would be to try and tackle this unemployment through different measures. So with that aim in mind, to ensure there's a high impact social change in the society through an economic acceleration, Dr. Umesh Wadhwani launched the Wadhwani Foundation in 2003. He's pledged most of the money that he has earned back to this foundation so that we can contribute towards the larger cause of economic acceleration in India. So the different initiatives that are running under the Wadhwani Foundation as of today, right? NEN being the flagship event of which all of you are members, right? The Wadhwani Foundation is also working into skill development. We are lobbying with the corporate, we have created a network which focuses on corporate jobs for the disabled. We've launched a policy initiative with Indo-US Policy Initiative. We are also working in the research areas in biotech and bioscience, which will focus on job creation specifically in this sector. So there's a lot that the Wadhwani Foundation is doing, and you can have a look at more details at the Wadhwani Foundation website. Today, because of lack of time, this was just a brief on the foundation. We'll move on to talk more about NEN, since most of you would be working closely for the entrepreneurship initiative. So that's NEN for you. NEN, like I told you, this is the flagship initiative of the Wadhwani Foundation. It was clearly established with a mission to create and support high growth entrepreneurs. If you look at this scenario way back in 2003, when we started talking about entrepreneurship in India, it was actually a very unknown word. There were a lot of call center jobs happening. The institutes, new private institutes had newly launched, and there was a lot of goodwill all around. So nobody was really interested in entrepreneurship and taking risks to start a venture and, investing certain amount of hard-earned money. This was when we started entrepreneurship. But we really firmly believed that, if we want to launch entrepreneurship, it has to be through educational and academic institutes, because they really strongly influence their students in their choice of career. So with this thought in mind, NEN had approached quite a few top-tier institutes and discussed the model of how can we actually launch entrepreneurship in academic campuses. And we shortlisted 5, in fact 5 had come up, and that is how NEN was co-founded with IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, BITS Pilani, SP Jain, and IBAB Bangalore. So we started this whole model of introducing students to entrepreneurship through these 5 academic institutes. 10 years down the line, we've come a long way from 5 to we are now 450 plus member academic institutes in India, and lots of other partners, government organizations, and the number is still growing. Right? There are a variety of programs that we have launched, started, in the preliminary years from talks, competitions, business plan events, right? And now, we have high impact programs like campus companies, venture mentoring units. So the slide here shows you some of the statistics on the kind of impact that has happened over the last 10 years. So we have 7 lakh participants. If you look at the figure down there, they've got 7 lakh participants which engaged in national programs. 2 of our major national platforms include the Entrepreneurship Week India. Many of you would have heard about it. And also the Tata First program, which is a student recognition program. Student Entrepreneur Recognition Program, I'm sorry. If you look at the number of students across campuses, we've got close to 64,000 students across 400 campuses, which very actively engage in various kind of entrepreneurship activities throughout the years, be it events, be it summits, be it startup internships, that's a huge number. Like at NEN, the last word in NEN is network. So our strong point, our USP is our network. We strongly believe in the power of network. And over the years, we've got a lot of investors, mentors, professionals who volunteered their time, effort, and skills, for this cause of entrepreneurship. This number is close to 4,500 now, and we're still counting. So this is the network that you will bank upon when you will also be running programs across your campuses. So that's NEN for you. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, we get this question a lot of times. What is it that you actually do about entrepreneurship? It's easier said, we can nicely say that we are into entrepreneurship. What exactly do we do? How do we go about creating buzz around this word entrepreneurship? So if you will look at the entrepreneurship ecosystem all over India and abroad, there are different organizations which have a role to play. Right? The first and foremost which comes to mind, when someone talks about entrepreneurship is funding. So you will see a lot of VCs, a lot of funding organizations, which very clearly are in this space to fund startups, make money out of it and exit. So that is one sort of organization. There are some other organizations which play a clear role in creating networking events, bringing people together, knowledge sharing, right? But these are more of event-based organizations. So what NEN felt was, if we really want to create impact, let's not get into events, let's not get into one-off activities. Let's try and see how we can create a holistic ecosystem wherein everybody gets to participate. So based on this objective, we have built a two-fold approach. One, what we do is we build institutes capacity. So if you are a faculty at an institute and you have some 1,000 students on your campus, out of which you will know that there are 10 to 15 students who very actively want to pursue entrepreneurship as a career. So whatever support these 15 students would need, be it in terms of evaluating their idea, connecting them to the right resources, giving them access to funding, right? Giving them office space, whatever support they need. We help your institute in building this capacity for supporting such students, right? In the process, when we do this, we can say that we have created entrepreneurs. So one can argue that these students would any which ways have started, even if had we not supported, they would have still started their ventures. So the idea here is, if you look at some global statistics, 70% of startups fail within the first 2 years of their starting their ventures. So what we will try to do here is, if your institute's capacity is built, right, through different topics, through different training sessions, through different structured programs, this failure ratio can be reduced to a large extent, right? So that is the approach that we are looking at from an institute point of view, helping you help your students in your own way, rather than having an external organization coming and doing 3 or 4 events and leaving off from there. Okay, the next, and of course, what we've also seen is, apart from this, when you create entrepreneurs, we've also realized for the students with whom we were working in the past, when they pass out, they were looking at support for starting their ventures. So NEN also got into strengthening the entrepreneurial ecosystem to support existing startups, right, who after they pass out don't really feel that they are out of the loop. So we've spoken to you about the Wadhwani Foundation, we've spoken to you about NEN. So we'll quickly have a look at what Dr. Umesh Wadhwani has to say on the plan ahead and NEN's impact, and then we'll come back to the talk.
So we've been at this for 10 years. 10 years ago, first generation entrepreneurship was nowhere near what it is today. Not a single college or university was teaching entrepreneurship. 10 years later, as a result of the work of Wadhwani Foundation, we've been able to launch entrepreneurship programs in 500 colleges and universities in India. We've developed a curriculum that is being shared by all 500. We've developed faculty training programs to train entrepreneurship faculty, and typically most of our network universities have 2 or more faculty members trained in how to teach and support entrepreneurship. Most of these colleges have e-clubs. 100,000 students stay engaged with National Entrepreneurship Network in some form or another. And as a result of all this, the number of companies being started by graduates of National Entrepreneurship Network is climbing. So in the last 12 months, it was 700 companies. In the previous 12 months, it was 300 companies. Previous 12 months, it was a couple of hundred companies. Looking forward, to answer your question, over the next 5 to 10 years, I would like Wadhwani Foundation, NEN, to move its own programs from simply opening up more and more entrepreneurship programs in colleges to actually helping the entrepreneurs coming out of these colleges or the prospective entrepreneurs and help them in the journey of starting companies and growing companies. We are not a venture capital firm, so we will not provide venture capital because that would be completely in conflict with what our foundation is trying to do. We are not trying to compete with the VCs, but to prepare entrepreneurs to get venture capital, to prepare entrepreneurs to attract talent, to prepare entrepreneurs to improve their business ideas, to give them access to mentors, to give them access to knowledge through case studies available in a video academy that we are putting up on the Wadhwani Foundation NEN portal, to give them the ability to connect with each other and interact and ask each other questions, learn from each other. These are very powerful ways in which to enable entrepreneurs, help them start companies or grow companies, create hundreds of thousands of jobs. So that's the next phase of the journey over the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you for the video there. So we'll come back to the process. We spoke about the approach of NEN. How do we build the capacity for you on your campus? What is it that we will do on ground? Right? So there are 3 areas in which we feel institutional capacity needs to be built for entrepreneurship. We have people, we have programs, and we have infrastructure. When we say people, we are talking about you as a faculty. You are the first point of contact at any institute when it will come to launching programs, right? So what is the kind of capacity building that you need? Let's assume a student comes to you and wants to understand, he has an idea and he wants to understand how does he take this idea forward, right? So the kind of training that you need, the kind of tools that you need to help him evaluate this idea, the kind of network connections that you need, that role will be played by NEN in helping you build this capacity for yourself. The second part is programs, right? You may have good amount of training, you may have relevant amount of connects, right? But if you do not launch the right kind of programs on your campus, and by right kind what we mean is we need to move away now from the traditional, simple startup talks, competitions, etc., right? And look at more high intense programs like courses, workshops, campus company initiatives, etc., which will really result into specific outcomes for your institute. So in terms of developing these programs, NEN will be providing you inputs on building the capacity for these programs. The third and very important part is also the infrastructure, right? When you have a academic infrastructure on your campus, it creates more visibility for you. So many of you would have heard about EDC cells, entrepreneurship cells, right? So what are this academic infrastructure? What are these e-cells about? How should they be structured? What should the advisory role be, right? How do you set up innovation centers? What should be the miles metrics for them? So that is the institutional capacity building that will happen for you through the NEN membership. So the role of faculty, since we are talking about institutional capacity building, becomes of primary importance in this entire effort and initiative. If you look at your role, it will start from the inspiring level. You will have huge amount of students on campus who will not really be even interested in hearing about entrepreneurship. So your role will start in, launching programs which clearly talk about inspiring students into entrepreneurship, inspiring them to be a part of the e-cell, advising the e-cell to launch its calendar of activities, etc. From inspire, it will go on to engage. Once you launch good level of programs, you will start getting inquiries from aspiring entrepreneurs, different stakeholders. So how are you going to engage these people so that, they can fulfill their goal of becoming an entrepreneur? Inspire, engage, it will move up to create. How can you create different advanced infrastructure programs on your campus? And finally, it will stop at support, right? Wherein from inspiration, you will start supporting and mentoring alumni and community entrepreneurs. We'll talk more about this in the next slide, wherein we talk about the campus ecosystem model. So you'll get further clarity on the entire process. So the slide which you see in front of you is a typical entrepreneurship ecosystem, ideally which should happen on any campus. I'll try and explain how this model works, right? If you look at the three circles below, where it's written inspire and engage, create and support, these are the three goals which any entrepreneurship institute should have, right? You should have a goal as to what is it that you want to achieve at the end of the year. So these are the three goals. If you look at the other boxes, the rectangular one, you have a specific infrastructure which supports this goal. So for example, if you want to inspire and engage your students in entrepreneurship, you will need a supporting infrastructure of e-cell who will run such programs. If you want to create entrepreneurs, right, then you will need an infrastructure of an innovation center, an entrepreneurship development center, an IEDC to launch such programs. If your goal as an institute is to support community and alumni entrepreneurs, your own student entrepreneurs, then the infrastructure that you will need on your campus would be an incubator or an entrepreneur support center. The three columns that you see, 1, 2, and 3, these are the kind of activities, the different participant profiles that you will have to target, the different network of resources that you will have to build for each of these goals. So we'll just quickly look at each of them one by one. So let's assume your institute is in the first year of its operation. You've just started thinking about entrepreneurship. Then majority of your focus will go on the first column. You will look at inspiring a lot of your students. So you will do a lot of large format programs. If you look at the activities, it will be e-talks, there will be panel discussions, there will be competitions, a lot of buzz around entrepreneurship, right? When you do this successfully in the first year, what you can expect in the second year, what we have normally seen, is you will have students coming back to you and telling you that we have been inspired and now, we want to go to the next level, right? You may have a student coming to you and telling you, now I have an idea and I want to take this idea to the next level. So these students may not really then want to just be part of activities, their needs change. So for such students, you will have to look at different sort of activities which are in column 2. So maybe you can take them through a hands-on course wherein they have exposure to ideation, they have exposure to opportunity evaluation. You can take them through a campus company program wherein they actually run ventures while they are on campus, right? So the entire need set change and your student set change. After the first and second year, when you go to the third year, right? Let's assume this happens in an ideal scenario. So the assumption is that this student who was inspired by you in the first year, who was advised by you in the second year, who gained some entrepreneurial skills in the second year, now launches a venture in the third year. So in the third year of your journey in entrepreneurship, you will have an incubator which will support this entrepreneur, right? By giving him access to funding, by connecting him to legal experts who can help him with, the legalities of a startup, etc., etc. So typically, this is how a campus entrepreneurship ecosystem model would work. I'll quickly give you an example and then we can pass this on to Kritika. Let's assume in the first year, you organize an entrepreneurship talk wherein someone came and spoke about the opportunities in waste management, right? So you did this as a part of your pre-screening activities, of your large awareness-led activities. Let's assume you had some close to 200 students who attended this and you documented them. Maybe out of these 2 or 3 students came back to you and one of them came and told you that now, I am interested in starting something. This is a clear problem that I see. I want to start a course on, I want to start a venture on waste management, right? So maybe in the second year through the activities, you will take him through a hands-on course. You'll help him understand if waste management is a problem, how do you want to sort it out, right? Do you have the right skills for it? Do you know the right people, right? What is the model that you want to build? Do you want to really start a website which will build awareness about waste management and get your revenues out of ad sales? Or do you want to do something which is more logistical in nature? Do you want to create a network of garbage collectors and gain some revenue out of that? So all of that learning will happen for the student through the second year activities. Post this learning, the student may decide or not decide to launch a venture, right? Maybe he will understand that this was not for him and he doesn't have the right skills necessary. Or maybe he'll understand that this is the right idea and this is how he wants to launch this and take this further. So in the third year, the activities will include, connecting the student to an expert from this industry who can guide him further, where to create the network, where to get his first set of customers, etc. Maybe connect him to a CA who can help him put a project report in place, right? So these are the level of activities which will happen, and when you start doing this regularly, you start creating your pipeline of entrepreneurs and then for support through this entire model. So we will be sharing this model with you, right? So we hope that, and we are very confident in fact that this model works and we have enough evidence to show that this model has created entrepreneurs. So that's the campus entrepreneurship ecosystem. And I will now pass on to my colleague Kritika Murlina, who will take you through the next slides.
Thank you very much, Marlena, for that really comprehensive overview of what NEN does. And I think by now the faculty would have inferred that they are really at the heart of the entire campus entrepreneurship ecosystem. So at NEN, knowing how important faculty are, we have a very robust faculty development approach. Now what you might be seeing on the screen in front of you is this faculty development approach, diagrammatically represented. I'm just going to take a few minutes to take you through that. Now this is a color-coded diagram, green at the bottom, then blue, and then purple. Now at the very bottom of the faculty development approach is the foundation level courses or the foundation level teaching. Now at this stage, you will go through courses such as the orientation program or kickstarting an entrepreneurial campus or building technology ventures, where you are exposed to the very basics of entrepreneurship, which will help you inspire and create interest in the mind of students. Also what happens is, like Marlena had correctly pointed out, students might come to you and say, listen, I have an idea, or this is something that's been in my mind. How do I proceed next? How do I take this to the next level? Now with these very basic entrepreneurship concepts, you will be in a position to tell them, okay, this is the next step. You should probably try to think about your idea more in detail, or you should probably evaluate your idea. So these basic foundation level courses will help you to be equipped to not just create interest, but also provide the necessary direction for your students who are interested in entrepreneurship. Now this is the green rung that we were talking about. Moving on to the next is the more advanced level courses. Now let's say that after the entrepreneurship talks and the creating of interest and the direction you give them, students are actually beginning to start up. they're actually seriously thinking of launching a venture. At this stage, they are going to require a lot more specialized approach to solving their problems. They might need help on, let's say, how do I build my business model? Or I have my prototype that is already ready. Now, how do I launch this prototype in the market? So here you will be helping them, you will be training students, entrepreneurs, and you will also be running advanced level courses for them. So these advanced level courses could be maybe a business model and business plan course, it could be a getting to market course, or it could be about hiring for a startup. These are courses that would really help your students move on to the next level. Now, after the foundation level teaching, advanced level teaching, the next level, the purple block, is going to be the mentor level. So now your students have been inspired, they have begin to start up, and they might have already launched a venture. At this level, you've also gone through the various courses that we're offering and have taken it back to your campus and have taught your students, and now you will start taking mentor level courses where you could actually mentor your entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs who have started up. Now, in a lot of cases, what has happened is institutes that have a very vibrant entrepreneurship ecosystem gain a lot of attention from practicing entrepreneurs outside their campus also. There are institutes where people from outside reach out to faculty mentors in the campus and tell them, these are the problems you're facing. We have heard of a lot of good work that you've done on entrepreneurship, and we would love to, gain your guidance on entrepreneurship. So this mentor level courses will equip you to not only teach and mentor your own students who have started up, but also community entrepreneurs from outside your campus, including your own alumni. Now, moving on to our course portfolio is just a small split up of the sort of courses we have. Like right in the beginning in green is the Campus Entrepreneurship Essentials. We have about 3 courses over there. Then we have in blue the advanced topics like the business model and the getting to market course that I was referring to. Then we have more courses on infrastructure design, right? Like Marlena was talking about, maybe an incubation center or an innovation center that could help you students. How do you actually launch that? We have courses for that. And also the mentor development courses that will help you actually help both student entrepreneurs as well as practicing entrepreneurs. Now, the approach we follow here at NEN is the venture life cycle approach. Now, you will see a sort of a tick mark over here in the middle, and we will also go back to the color codes as referring to at the very bottom of your screen. Again, you can see green, blue, and purple. Now, these green sort of courses, the knowledge you've gained from this, would be apt to run for your students before they've actually started up at this stage, where they're still exploring what to do and they are in the pre-venture stage. Now, after that, when they are slowly starting up and they are, starting to reach break even, where they are just trying to figure out what to do, these advanced level courses would be very, very helpful. They might be business model and business plan or getting to market and so on. And then as they have started up and they have broken even and they're going into positive cash flow, again, mentor level courses and concepts will be most useful for them. So we are proposing courses at different stages across the relevant to the stage at which the entrepreneur is, starting to the mentor level. All right. Now, Marlena, at the very beginning of the presentation, was talking about the tools and resources required that will help you implement these various courses you attend back on your campus. Now, I'll just run you through a few of what we have, which is pretty extensive actually. I'll give you a brief overview. Now, in terms of course content and curriculum, we have tools and pedagogical tools which will help you implement these courses back on your campus. There are some of the course topics and courseware that is shown as a picture for you here. All right. Apart from that, you have how-tos and guides that we have published. Now, let us say that you want to build an e-cell on your campus, that you want to help your students build an e-cell, or you want to launch a campus company on your campus, or at the next level, you want to start a mentoring unit on your campus. So these publications will give you a very clear overview as to how to go about building these things. whether it's an e-cell or a mentoring unit, whatever it might be. So these publications are available for you on request. Apart from that, we also have various frameworks and models, something similar to the venture lifecycle approach that I just explained, where at different stages of an entrepreneur's journey, you will be giving them different concepts and courses. Okay, so this is a very brief sort of an overview for you on the tools and resources we have. We will go on to it a little more in detail in the following slides. One really good resource that we have at NEN is our Entrepreneur Academy. Now, you can access this at www.nenonline.tv. Now, as you can see in this picture in front of you, the person here is holding a tab and is logged on to Entrepreneur Academy, and there are various thumbnails showing on this tab. Now, what happens is when you log on to Entrepreneur Academy, you will have access to many short videos, blogs, slide shares, and also courses, short courses. And currently, they are free of charge on registration. Now, these courses and videos are all handled by various people from the entrepreneurship ecosystem. They could be entrepreneurship educators, they could be entrepreneurs themselves, practicing entrepreneurs, they could be mentors, they could be venture capitalists, and these are really short, crisp videos. So let's say you have, 2 lectures and you have about 15-20 minutes in between. You can very much log on to nenonline.tv and actually see a couple of videos and gain some quick insights into various entrepreneurship-related concepts. Apart from that, at NEN, we have put together an entire NEN courseware compendium. So this actually is a combination of all the courses that we run, be it foundation level courses or whether it's an advanced course or whether it's a mentor development course. We have put it all together in a compendium and in a very detailed, structured format. The session plan is available. How long it might take you to prepare to take a particular course is available. Similarly, the teaching tools and materials that you want, that which you might require to take the course is available. So it is a very comprehensive overview of all our courses put together in a very structured format. Now, a tool like this would be very, very useful for you to read and then implement these courses back with your students. So we are trying to make it as easy and as comprehensive as possible for you. All right? These are what you're seeing right now is some of the publications that I was talking about that we have put together. On the extreme left, you can see how to launch and manage a campus company, then the mentoring handbook, then the student venture mentoring unit, then how to build a high performance entrepreneurship cell. So all these publications are very robust handbooks which are again available to you on request. Now, a lot of other events and resources that would be useful to you are webinars and faculty mentoring clinics that are going to be coming up. The webinars, of course, like the one you're attending, and the faculty mentoring clinics are going to be online sessions where we are going to have faculty mentors actually mentoring student entrepreneurs on some of the startup issues they have. Again, this is completely online. Now, as you might have already guessed, we do have a lot of face-to-face courses, but we are slowly trying to move a lot of our offerings online, so it will be easier to reach many people. So the webinars and mentoring clinics are examples of the same. Now, we've spoken all about your role, the various courses that we offer, how you can take those courses, go back to your campus and teach, educate, and mentor your students. So now I think would be a good time for us to share with you the sort of support NEN can give you in terms of recognition. So in the following few slides, you will see some really amazing stories of faculty who have from various fields who have transformed into really amazing entrepreneurship mentors. So apart from that, apart from the journey, we also can really give you opportunities to lead various courses for us, to lead our webinars like how me and Marlena are leading right now. Then also opportunities such as fellowship programs. For instance, we are partnering with IIT Kanpur for a case development program. where select faculty will be participating in a program, post which again shortlisted faculty will be given a grant to actually develop an Indian case study. Similarly, we have the NEN recognition platform that you can see right at the end, where we are putting together with MHRD Government of India a national entrepreneurship education conclave, where we're going to bring together various experts at the global level too, to interact and understand how to really bring entrepreneurship to the forefront at a global level. Now moving on to some of the amazing transformation stories that we were talking about how faculty have moved on to become amazing mentors. Here is a name, Dr. Radha Iyer, who is synonymous with entrepreneurship not just in her institute in Mumbai, but also at NEN. So Dr. Radha Iyer is an associate professor at KG Somaya Institute of Management Studies and Research, Mumbai. Now when Radha started off, she had some industry experience and she had moved on to academics. She did not really have much of an exposure to entrepreneurship. She did not have much exposure to the programs or anything of that sort. But today, Radha is one of our most impactful mentors. So she started off in her own campus by launching an e-cell. And then she slowly started mentoring student leaders in this e-cell. After that, she again transformed and moved on to launching a campus company in her institute. Then from there on, her growth was just phenomenal. She went on to actually teach other faculty entrepreneurship. She launched advanced courses on her campus. She brought an international alliance for her university and really made entrepreneurship development a key focus. Not only to mention that, Radha is now a PhD holder in entrepreneurship. Okay, this is just an example of how faculty have really grown from whatever they're teaching to actual experts in entrepreneurship. And as you can probably see on your screen right now, Radha was awarded the Vittal Mallya NEN Scholarship for the Entrepreneur Education course. She is also the recipient of the NITE NSCEDB Award for Entrepreneurship Education and the Best Faculty Advisor Award from the students in Free Enterprise for Social Entrepreneurship. So clearly she's really making waves in the entrepreneurship scenario. Just like Radha, now the person you can see on your screen right now is Dr. Radhika Meenakshi Shankar. And I've had the pleasure of leading a couple of courses with Dr. Radhika. So Dr. Radhika again started her career as a management faculty teaching finance and commerce. And then when she was doing her PhD, she slowly started, getting interest into entrepreneurship. And she took our entrepreneurship courses, our foundation level courses, our advanced level courses, her entire gamut of courses that really, was helpful for her. And then she moved on to then start coaching and mentoring both students as well as practicing entrepreneurs. Radhika's specialty is the SME sector as well as women entrepreneurs, specifically women entrepreneurs. She actually is now the director of the Center for Entrepreneurship Development at Ali, Andhra Pradesh. And she has been doing fantastic work there for lady entrepreneurs in particular. What is even more heartening is that Radhika is not just teaching entrepreneurship now, she is now an entrepreneur herself. She has now founded her own consulting services, White Owl Consulting, which is based out of Hyderabad. Similarly, you can now see Professor Soumya Chakravarti on your screen, and another person I've had the pleasure of working with. And he is truly evangelic when it comes to entrepreneurship, very energetic person, likes to inspire and make everybody comfortable around him, and is very close among his student audience. He has again designed courses, he has mentored many community entrepreneurs, he has also developed entrepreneurship programs for various academic institutes. See, the reason we would share, and we are very excited to share with you all these various faculty and their journey, is that this is not just about what the faculty is doing. It is not just about how they're helping entrepreneurs or bringing entrepreneurship into the forefront. So this is also about how they have personally grown, whether it is doing a PhD in entrepreneurship, or whether it is what can I say, leading a course advanced level course on entrepreneurship, or even becoming entrepreneurs themselves, their personal brand and growth really comes out in the process. So with this, I'm actually going to take a question and answer from you.